Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. EUR USD weekly forecast sentiment gives it. Sentiment takes it away. http ntvforex.com news ID 5453A1 7/17/2023 32:56 p.m. Investors are once again worried about an economic downturn. Policymakers stand pat, pledge to do whatever it takes. EUR USD is turning long-term bullish, needs to run past 1.1500. The EUR USD pair is up for the fourth consecutive week, although having topped for the week at 1.1451, barely surpassing the June high at 1.1422, now trading just above this last. As it been happening since March, relevant market movements have been triggered by coronavirus-related headlines. The pair posted its largest intraday advance this week on Tuesday, when the biotech Moderna announced progress in its coronavirus vaccine, saying that it provided immunity to the 45 subjects tested in Phase 1. The company is starting Phase 3 in a couple of weeks and hopes to have the vaccine ready for year-end. The optimism faded throughout the week, as outbreaks have been reported worldwide, while the situation in the US continues to worsen, with a record of roughly 75,000 new cases in a day on Thursday. Concerns are of a further delay in the economic recovery. Central banks, rescue funds, and more. After launching massive stimulus programs, central banks have adopted a wait-and-see stance this month. The Bank of Canada, the Bank of Japan, and the European Central Bank all had monetary policy meetings these days, keeping rates on hold and, in general, pledging to do what's necessary to support financial markets. The ECB decided to keep its base interest rate at 0.00%, with the marginal lending rate at 0.25% and the deposit rate remaining at 0.50%. The PEP was maintained at €1,350 billion. Policymakers acknowledged that economic indicators remain well below the levels recorded before the pandemic, and declared they stand ready to adjust all of its instruments, as appropriate, to ensure that inflation moves towards its aim in a sustained manner. For financial markets, it was a no-event. Meanwhile, the EU continues to discuss the €750 billion rescue package approved by the European Commission. Some countries, such as Sweden, Denmark, Austria, and the Netherlands, say that the proposed EU fund is too large and insisted any money given out must eventually be repaid. German Chancellor Angela Merkel noted that the differences are still too big but hopes they can find a compromise in this Friday summit. Economies en route to retreat again. Macroeconomic data released these days had no impact on price action. Most figures were encouraging, but have become old history on the back of the latest coronavirus outbreaks that could result in worsening economic results in the upcoming months. Governments are doing their best not to impose new lockdowns, but the chances of that happening continue to increase alongside the number of cases. Worth noting, however, that the July German ZEW survey was a major disappointment, as the country's economic sentiment deteriorated to 59.3, while for assessment of the current situation, plunged to 80.9. For the whole EU, economic sentiment printed at 59.6. In the US, unemployment levels remain stubbornly high, as initial jobless claims for the week ended July 10 came in at 1.3 million. Also, the preliminary estimate of the July Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index came in at 73.2, much worse than the 79 expected and falling from 78.1 in the previous month. In terms of data, investors have little to worry about next week. Some relevant figures will be released by the end of it, starting with German consumer confidence for August, and the EU consumer confidence for July to be out next Thursday. On Friday, market will publish the preliminary estimates of its July PMIs for the Union and the US. Manufacturing output and services activity are seen contracting from their June levels. EUR USD technical outlook. The EUR USD pair is above its 200 SMA in the weekly chart, and it would be the first time the indicator manages to close above it since June 2019, an encouraging sign for bulls. The 20 SMA in the mentioned time frame continues to advance far below the current level, while buying interest is aligned around a directionless 100 SMA. Technical indicators, in the meantime, stand at recent highs, the momentum directionless and the RSI advancing. Overall, the risk is skewed to the upside, although the pair's direction will continue to depend on sentiment. Technical readings in the daily chart favor a new leg higher, as the pair has managed to advance beyond a firmly bullish 20 DMA, while the 100 DMA is crossing above the 200 DMA, both around 1.1050. Technical indicators hover around their weekly highs but had no directional strength. The pair has a strong static resistance level at 1.1460, followed by the yearly high at 1.1496. A break above this last would confirm a sustainable advance in the days to come. The immediate support is the 1.1370 price zone, where buyers are aligned these days. Below it, 1.1300 and 1.1240 are the next possible bearish targets. EUR USD Sentiment Poll. The NTV Forex Forecast poll shows that investors are seeing the pair extending its advance towards the 1.15 region next week, with whopping 80% of the polled experts backing gains in the shared currency. Such sentiment, however, suffers a U-turn in the monthly and quarterly views, as bears take over the pair, seen then retreating towards the 1.13 handle. In the overview chart, however, the moving averages maintain their bullish strength, advancing to fresh multi-month highs, and somehow suggesting that any future decline could be short-lived, with buyers waiting for pullbacks. The spread of possible targets in the longer view is spread between 1.10 and 1.17 quite evenly, another factor that undermines a possible U-turn to the downside. Related forecasts. AUD/USD weekly forecast definitions 1T come this week. Bitcoin weekly forecast BTC/USD in coma, we need a miracle to bring it back to life. GBP/USD weekly forecast exposed failure to rise on robust data, strong resistance, point to falls. USD/JPY weekly forecast will gloom guide it lower geopolitics, jobless claims, coronavirus all-eyed. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.